you bored of your bike? Welcome back, Anonymous Biker. The last video I did, how many bikes? If you could only have one bike, what would it be? Lots of answers, great comments, and as expected, a lot of people could not just pick one bike. In fact, you all listed one bike for each purpose that you would keep, so you'd still have 2 or 3 bikes. So I do know and understand it is a hard answer for that question. Some of you did, though, have a go-to and pick one bike, so that led me to this. When do you get bored of your bike? How long does it take? Do you buy a bike going into it thinking, keep it for a year or 2, see how it goes, trade it in, get something different genre, different class, or a different model of that particular bike maybe? Or, if you ever bought a bike, 2 or 3 months in, you're like, this isn't what I thought it would be, and then just flip it. How long does it take you to get bored? Or do you buy a bike and say, I don't know, ride it 4 or 5 years and then see what else is out there? Or when you go buying a bike or seeking a bike out on Cycle Trader or whatever method you use, do you buy it looking like, I want to find the bike and keep it for as long as I can? Let me know in the comments. So those of you who've been at the channel know that I have the 2017 Indian Scout. I'm on the 2024 Z900, the 23 Himalayan for off-road, the 21 Goldwing for insert here, do everything, and a 2005 Triumph Daytona 650. Why? Well, they each do something different. But at what point do you get bored of those bikes and decide, let's try something else? Just curious as to your thinking. And then what kind of thinking goes into that? Do you just try to offload it on Cycle Trader and take the loss? Do you try to get the best trade-in possible you can and work a new deal somewhere at a dealer? By the way, this road is fantastic, especially for this bike. Or what's the process for you? Trail brake all day long on this thing. For me, when I bought my Indian Scout and I started doing everything to it, I knew, all right, I'm keeping this for a long time. Now, with that being said, how long is too long? Because you get to that point, unless it's a Sportster, you're 12, 15, 18 years, are there going to be parts available? If you don't work on your own bike, are you able to still work on it because you can't get those parts? So is there a delineation of the 5 to 7, 8 year period where you better offload it? Unless it's like a Sportster or a super produced Harley, because obviously there's so many out there and you can get parts all the time, which, one of the reasons to buy a Harley, right? You can always have that option where there's always going to be parts. They hold their value longer because of the name, and you don't really have to worry so much about that 10-year window, so to speak. Perfect example, Victory motorcycles, right? 2017, they decide that they're going to go with Polaris, Indian name, rebrand. Victory made a lot of great bikes, but 2027 is the last year that will be parts available. So for people that own those bikes, what happens in 2035, 2036? I know you can always machine parts, you can find things, you can make stuff work, but just for food for thought, what's the thought process there? I don't want to say protect your investment, because obviously don't know if these are investments so much, unless it's a specialty bike or a one-off that obviously you can sell for more than you bought it for. But the trick there is when you're trading or selling on Cycle Trader, if you come out even or you come out a little bit less, all that money was worth the fun you had, right? The mile's a smile. So the psychological relief that was provided for that particular bike. And as I always say, you ride all the different bikes to learn the manufacturers, to learn what you like and don't like about them. So in your next purchase, you may be a little more honed in and see some more specifics that you're looking for or not looking for. Now, we've had 6 particular areas that this guy could have pulled off for slower riders or drivers, and he chose not to. 7. Come on, buddy. We're doing 35. So with all the comments on the last video of only one bike, it got me thinking as, all right, man, there was one guy, I think he had it was 11 bikes or 17 bikes at one time. I mean, that's great. How do you ride them all? And then do you ride like one every 7 weeks, or how's that work? But you also had a lot of people that had a definite, hey, this is my go-to. I know our lovely pal and friend up there, Bodine52. He's got the 24 Road Glide, which is really nice, Pearl, and then he has the Road King Classic, and that's his keeper. Obvious reasons why. So, at what point do you get bored and decide, I'm going to trade it? Let's see if we can do this here. Alrighty. Much better. So, like, this bike here, right? Super fun. Love it. But I knew when I bought this, probably would keep it about 2 years, because I would have had all the fun that I can have for how it can be ridden other than taking it to track. And then you can shelf it and keep it as a track bike if you want. But, you know, with space limited in the garage, and then you got, you know, carrying insurances and blah, 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 and you just don't need to be spending extra money on stuff. No, this is a fun road too. You tend to not get as attached to the bike when you go into it with a business decision. Whee! This is what I was afraid of. Holiday weekend, a lot of cyclists, so I gotta be careful. Proceeds to go 70 miles an hour in 4th gear. I mean, I don't know if I'd ever get bored of this, but you might just want to try it on something different, right? So just asking out of curiosity, your time frames on keeping bikes, your thought process when you buy them. Do you go in preconceived, like, I'm keeping it for 1 or 2 or 3? Or no, I just say, you know what, I want it, I buy it, I ride it. I don't want it, I don't keep it, I sell it. Is it that simple? So thanks for watching. Leave it in the comments below. And don't forget,